Okay, would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?
Not at all. Go ahead.
I understand that you've been experiencing some discomfort in your head and neck area and have been running a high fever. Do you have any other symptoms I should know about?
I vomited before coming to the hospital, and my eyes have become really sensitive to light.
Alright, thank you for that information. Are you currently living with someone in close contact, such as a roommate or family members?
Yes, I'm away at college and live with one other person who is my roommate, and we share a dorm room.
And if you don't mind me asking, do you have a significant other or someone you are in a romantic relationship with? I know that may seem like a personal question, but it is important to know.
Yes, I have a boyfriend at college that I see pretty regularly. He's part of a fraternity on campus, so he doesn't live with me, but he stays in my dorm room frequently.
Okay, thank you. I think that I have all of the information that I need. I'm going to perform a couple tests to try and identify what may be causing you to feel sick.
Okay, what tests are you going to perform?
I will be performing 3 different tests, but first I will need to draw a sample of your cerebral spinal fluid from your spinal column for these tests by performing a lumbar puncture, which is also called a spinal tap.
That sounds scary and risky. What tests are you performing?
I know it does, but I promise it will only be a little pinch and it is perfectly safe. The sample of cerebral fluid will be taken from your back and will be used in the test to determine what is infecting you. The first test we will perform would be a gram staining.
Okay, what is a gram stain exactly?
We will take the sample of your CSF and combine it with a drop of water on a slide. After it dries, we will fix the bacteria by running the slide over a flame. After that, we will use a purple primary stain called crystal violet and a red counter stain called saffronin. We will then rinse the slide underwater, let it dry, and observe the results.
And what will the gram stain tell you?
A gram stain is a technique lab technicians use that will allow us to determine whether the organism infecting you is a gram-positive or gram-negative organism. The gram-positive bacteria will be purple on the slide because of the primary stain in the cell's thick cell wall. The gram-negative bacteria will be red or pink because its cell wall cannot retain the primary stain, so the red counter stain stains it. This will also allow us to observe the cell morphology or shape and arrangement. All of these clues that the gram stain gives us brings us one step closer to understanding what organism is causing infection.
Wow, that is interesting. What's the next test?
The next test is called a streaking for isolation method on a blood agar plate. For this test, you will use a sterile loop to streak the sample of your CSF onto all 4 quadrants of a blood agar plate. After that, we will incubate the agar plate for 24 hours at 35 degrees Celsius.
What can you tell from this test?
After 24 hours, the plate will be observed. This test shows me whether the organism infecting you is hemolytic or not. The blood agar plate is a differential media, meaning that the plate will change colors depending on what bacteria is infecting you and whether it is hemolytic, or it is destroying your red blood cells, or non-hemolytic, it is not destroying your red blood cells.
That is really scary.
There is no need to worry, we will take good care of you. The next test we will perform is called the Kirby-Bauer Disc Diffusion Susceptibility Test. This test will help us determine what antibiotics to give you to clear up your infection.
Interesting. How can you tell what antibiotics to give me?
In this test, we will swab your CSF sample on a Mueller-Hinton agar plate and then place different discs with antimicrobial compounds on the agar plate and see the bacteria's sensitivity to the different antimicrobial compounds on the plate. The one with the largest ring around it would be the best antibiotic to give you.
That sounds complex.
It is. Now we have to wait for the test to come back, so you rest while we wait. 2 days later. Hi Sarah, how are you feeling? I'm Allie, I'm going to be your nurse again.
I'm not feeling well at all. Are my results back yet?
I just got them back. For the gram staining test, the bacteria stained a reddish pink color and the morphology of the cells was diplococci, which indicates that the organism infecting you is a gram-negative bacteria. If it were gram-positive, the cells would have stained purple. For the streaking for isolation on the blood agar plate, the colonies of bacteria were round, smooth, and unpigmented on the agar plate, indicating that the bacteria is non-hemolytic. If the colonies were hemolytic, the agar would have changed a different color. For the Kirby-Bauer Disc Diffusion Susceptibility Test, the antibiotic that had the widest circle around the disc and was most susceptible was penicillin. This shows that penicillin would be most effective in getting rid of your infection.
Okay. So what does that mean?
From all this information, we were able to conclude that you're suffering from meningococcal meningitis caused by the bacteria Neisseria meningitidis. This bacteria infects the linings of the brain and the spinal cord, which causes swelling and severe discomfort in the head and the neck area, as well as all the other symptoms that you have been experiencing.
Am I going to be okay? What is Neisseria meningitidis?
Neisseria meningitis is a gram-negative diplococci bacteria that stains a reddish-pink color in a gram stain. It has a high metabolic rate, which is why it can invade the body and use its host resources to replicate so quickly. This organism is sometimes found in the body's normal microflora. In humans, about 1 out of 10 people have meningitis in the back of their nose and throat.
Is there anything you can do to treat it?
Yes, we can. By performing the Kirby biodisc diffusion susceptibility test, we were able to determine that the penicillin was the best antibiotic to treat your infection. So we will be administering a high dose to you and you should feel much better and the infection should clear up.
Phew! That is great news. Do you know how I could have gotten this infection? Is there anything I can do to prevent it in the future?
People acquire meningitis from close contacts with either a roommate or a significant other who has the bacteria. I would notify your boyfriend and your roommate so they can watch for symptoms. To prevent it in the future, you should get the meningococcal vaccine, which you can get from your health provider.
Oh, I will definitely get vaccinated. Thank you so much.
No problem. I'm happy we found out what was making you sick. I will send you home with an informational pamphlet that you can look at. I also recommend the CDC website if you're looking for some more reliable information about this bacteria. I can write the website down for you to take home.
Thank you for all your help. I'm looking forward to feeling better.
Great.